Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. We hope that you are doing well. I am here with Rachel.
Hi.
And I'm Sarah. And we are going to be showing you pedicure supplies because it is officially, I feel like, even though it snowed last week here in Utah, basically it's pedicure season.
It is.
Right?
Once the temperatures dip to, or once they go above 50 here, I feel like it's pedicure season.
Which more often than not, it is above 50. So I would say that we are in pedicure season. So we wanted to go over some of our favorite pedicure supplies that you can get at polishedpinkiespro.com. And I'm going to flip the camera over. We'll get started.
It's very quiet in here.
Yeah. Once the music goes away.
Bree just left. Music's gone.
Ooh, ooh.
No, you're good. You're good.
That's how it goes?
Yeah. It's holding it.
Okay. Perfect.
Here,
Wonderful.
Move
Excellent.
This guy.
I'm going to put on my gloves because I feel like you can't see my actual hands. No, I have them. All right. Pedicures. Do you offer pedicures at your salon? If you do you offer dry pedicures or wet pedicures?
Mm-hmm.
Some of our favorite products for dry pedicures would be the Vosh line. Have you ever tried the Vosh line?
Ooh, it's the bomb.
It is really, really great. It is all of the products that you need for offering a dry pedicure. So this would be your dry pedicure products, and then you would move into the actual pedicure part. But there is no water. It's waterless. Everything is just done with, well, I guess if you do the soak, you would need water.
Yeah, but if you could still do the...
You could easily do the mask and the scrub and all of that and skip the soak part and then send your client home with the soak one that they can do at home. That way you keep it waterless. Your gel products or your acrylic products that you put onto the toes, even your nail polish, if you are just a strictly nail polish type of person, then that is going to adhere better to a dry nail anyway. Mm-hmm. So a dry pedicure is honestly our perfect way to go.
Absolutely.
Versus a wet, absolutely dry.
And
it can still be luxurious.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. When we used to do gel toes here, that was the best.
Yeah.
Like it was, but it also was just like so much quicker than a wet pedicure because it wasn't, you didn't have to soak. You didn't have to wait for like the cuticle remover or any of that. Like it was just in and out and it was so nice.
So definitely we prefer a dry pedicure. If you are somebody who does a wet pedicure, we do wonder, like, do you prefer that or is that the only way that you were taught?
Right.
In regards to that, our good buddy Melissa, Polish Looks by Melissa, I don't know if her class is still open for registration. However, she is offering a dry pedicure course. It is the best dry pedicure course I have ever taken here in Utah. So if you are interested in that, you can sign up for her class. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on to actual products is we have pulled some of our favorite bits for prepping the nail plates before you do your pedicure. Mm-hmm. So you would do the gel toes or the acrylic portion on the toes, or even, would you do nail polish before or after you give the pedicure?
After.
So nail polish would wait until after, but all of the others you would do before because you want the nail plate to be nice and dry, everything like that. So here are some of our favorites. For removal of the product on the nail plate, we prefer either of these bits because they are small. And so they're going to fit onto those tiny little toenails really easily. You'll be able to get off the bulk of the product. Even if you have a big toenail, this is still going to do a great job. So this one is called the Cutie, and this one is called the...
It's the Plush, but it's the little one.
The small plush.
Small plush.
Mini plush?
I think it's just small plush.
Small plush. Mm-hmm. That works for me. Mm-hmm. So either of those are going to be fantastic for removing product from the toenails. Mm-hmm. And then we move into the prep. We're going to talk about prepping the toenail plate, and you have a few different options. If they had naked toes, you could go in with the diamond taper, and ours is a little dirty and needs to be scrubbed out with a wire brush, but this is fantastic for fitting onto that toenail and just prepping the toenail in one go, boop, 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 because all you have to do is remove the shine and remove the cuticle. So you're going to go back against the epinicium. And maybe I will take off my glove. Right. Maybe it feels a little funny with the glove on.
Maybe demo it.
So if this was a toenail, let's go with this, then you would be able to push against that epinicium and just take off all of that dead cuticle and then rub that against the nail plate, making sure to remove all shine so that your product will adhere nicely. Because of its shape, it fits really nicely onto the nail plate. You're not gouging. You're not like this. We don't want to be this way. We definitely want to be flat against the back of the nail. Okay, so this is a great prep if they have nothing on their toes.
Which is very similar to this guy as well.
Yes. This one is the flat top taper, and this is very similar. It's just a smaller version. So either of these. I don't love this. This used to be what people would prep the actual nail plate with, like the fingernail plate. It is too big. It is too bulky. It can't get into those tiny little spaces. I feel like that is true for toes too. However, toes, especially that big toe, we're in a hurry. We want to make sure that we are being conscious of time. So this is going to really prep fast. And then you could go in with one of these finer tools just really quickly and get those edges and make sure that everything is nice and clean on their toes. And it's just going to make speedy work of that. So this is the tapered Sciver. This is the flat top tapered Sciver. These are going to be great for either prepping the entire nail or for prepping down in those sidewalls of the toenails, making sure to get out all of the crud. This is called a Sciver. This is what we suggest for newbies. So if you are a brand new nail tech, we suggest starting with a Sciver, at least for your first little while. It's very hard to do damage with a Sciver. However, our Sciver is very little.
It's just a little guy.
And it's going to fit really nicely down into sidewalls of fingernails or toes. And it's going to be really nice. You just push that against the epinicium because it has a rounded top. It kind of just sits right against that and just doesn't feel quite as scary. So the Sciver is a great beginner bit, even if you're new to doing toes.
And I feel like this one is a comfortable size as well for most toes. Like this was my favorite one to use when we did dry pedicures and gel toes. This was my favorite because it was like the perfect size to get like those teeny tiny little itty bitty like pinky toes that are
ones
so
that are
tiny.
Almost not there.
It's like one swipe and you're fully prepped.
Yeah.
But it's just like the perfect size to get around the edges. I feel like this one was great.
Fantastic.
In a good shape.
Then these are going to be for removing all of the dry skin at the epiniciums, right? So back here of toenails or for fingernails. And this is going to be fantastic for removing calluses, especially when you shorten a toenail and then they have those really tough calluses on their skin.
In the corners.
This is going to be fantastic. You can use this to remove all of the dead tissue at the back. Rather than nipping or trimming, you can use this in the place of the ball bit. And then especially it's going to fit perfectly down in to soften all of those calluses that people get on their toes. It's called the raindrop, and it is such a great bit for that. Then we move on to actual pedicure bits. Now, there are two different pedicure bits to choose from. And this one is the Coarse. It is your general. Everybody in general is going to use this guy. It's going to do a fantastic job of reducing calluses. And the nice thing about the Polished Pinkies Pedi bit is that it is open, which means that all of the dirt and dust and gunk and debris that gets stuck in there, you can just tap it all out. Make sure that you are rinsing in there. You can even use a little bottle brush to get in there and make sure it's all nice and clean before you put it into your sanitizer. So that is a fantastic way to make sure that all of your implements are staying nice and sanitary. Then we move on to the Super Coarse, and the Super Coarse, you can see all of that diamond.
Yeah.
All that grit.
So
nice. This is intended for people who have intense calluses. So when we first introduced these Pedi bits, I asked Rachel and her mom, like, hey, can we try these on you? They're like, yeah, my feet are real crusty. And then we looked at them and I'm like,
where's your calluses?
You don't have anything on your feet. So we were trying this bit and I was like, okay, well, I'll just be really gentle. Okay, in the end, this created a lot of heat because it was basically unhealthy skin. So I naturally have dry skin, but this is what their heels look like, would be, you know, sort of crusty like that.
Not even.
And I'm like, there's nothing to remove. So putting this on here, it's too abrasive.
Yeah.
This is only meant, the Super Coarse is only meant for intense callus removal.
Yeah.
Intense. Otherwise, it's just going to cause a lot of heat on your client. It's going to be very uncomfortable. So again, this is for our general pedicure people who get pedicures often or who take care of their feet or who just simply are blessed with that beautiful skin that doesn't really callus very much. So like this, great, fantastic. This is the right kind of callus for this type of tool. Okay.
Also, can we just have a moment of silence for all of Sarah's splits in her skin?
It's getting better. It's getting so much better.
How's your pinky?
Oh, this one's all healed. This one took a minute. This one probably needed a stitch, but it worked out. I got it to close up. Everything's fine. It's just when the weather changes, that's what happens to dry skin.
She just is a real crusty.
Yes. Okay, moving on to actual tools, podiatry type tools, pedicure type tools. These ones are from Staleks, and Staleks is a professional brand that produces high-end, high-quality both manicure and pedicure tools. They also do a lot of aesthetic tools, but we don't sell those. We only sell the manicure and the pedicure tools. Specifically, these are pedicure nippers, which these have a straight blade. These are going to be very, very straight. And so they are going to cut against, most epiniciums on a toenail are straight. So this is going to be a straight blade, which is very, very nice for trimming those and making sure that we don't trim too much. Oops, I'm sorry. That just went flying at you.
That's okay.
So these are great nippers for that. These ones, look at those big daddies. These guys are going to be fantastic for reducing length on a toenail. So your free edge, and oftentimes, we'll take these out. So these are like heavy duty. And oftentimes toenails are much thicker and stronger than fingernails. So you need to have a tool that is going to be able to cut through really, really easily so that you don't have to put so much pressure on your wrist. And that's what this tool is going to do. It's going to take that free edge down really, really nice and easy. Also very quickly. Once you get past the big toenail and you move it to the little toenails, then doop, 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 done. Moving on to the prep. That's how fast it can be.
I love that.
Then we have, unfortunately, these are sold out, but I still wanted to talk about them because we have more on the way. This is the pusher and curette. So this pusher is very nice and small. It's going to fit really nicely, even for your small toenails. And it's just going to be able to give a slight push to that epinicium. And then this curette end is going to clean out underneath.
Super thin, too.
Super, super thin. And it's going to clean out all down in those sidewalls where we have toe jam, and we have sock debris, and we have dirt, and we have
dead skin of any kind.
All the rest.
Anything.
Calluses that have built up and that are, underneath, or possibly the nail is now going down into the skin, and before it becomes a ingrown toenail, we can slightly give a lift and maybe cut off that piece that wants to dig down into the skin. So there are different things that you can use this for, but this curette is going to be fantastic for pedicures. We sold out of these very quickly, but like I said, we have more coming.
I love that. Those are so cool. I've never used one.
Yeah, it's very, I'm going for the word, not intense. It's very, all right, last but not least are the metal files from Staleks. So this is the metal file. And then this particular one, this grit is 180/240, which is going to be great for your toes, especially if you are with a glove. This is very hard to open. It's okay.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Just trash the box. It's cool.
Don't worry. With gloves, I can barely even feel it. Okay, this is going to be fantastic for toes because oftentimes we have natural nails, which we don't want to use too coarse of a file on. Or if they have product, then we can use the 180. So it's nice to have both. But what you do is slide this right on. And then I'm going to show you on Rachel's naked nails, but because this is nice and thin, this can fit so snug right underneath of those edges, especially on toes when we have to round those edges because we don't want them to get ingrown toenails. This fits so nicely down inside of there and just can curve all of that without causing unneeded pressure against their skin or whatnot. So it's just really nice and thin for any sidewall work that you might have to do. And then, like I said, the 180 side is great. If they have product, then we will be able to debulk or shape with the 180. And then, happily, because it's a pedicure, we all know that we want to minimize the spread of germs or whatnot. If I didn't have gloves on, I would be able to just pry that right off. You toss that in the trash, and then you would be able to disinfect your, thank you. Perfect. That goes in the trash, and then this can go into your disinfectant and be ready for your next client.
And it also is super convenient because sometimes when you're doing a pedicure, there's not very much hand filing, so you kind of feel like you're wasting a file sometimes. And if you throw them away or you give them to your clients right after, you're like, well, that was kind of dumb. So this,
but with toes, you wouldn't necessarily give it to them. Then they're going to start using that on their nails, and we don't want that.
Yeah, no. But this is nice because then you've got, the soft side for the, the natural nail that's left, and then this side for any product that's there. So this is really, really nice because then you're not using an entire file. And
absolutely.
It's just.
This also comes in a 100, 180. So that would be used for your nails that have enhancements on it, but then this one would be good for pedicures.
Hang on. Is our sound on? Abigail Thurgood said our sound disappeared. Are we on?
Shoot.
Okay, our sound is back.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Oh, she got a call, and I think it cut out the audio for just a minute, but it was when we were on this guy.
Gotcha. So the Splinter tool, fantastic for just removing those tiny little splinters, or if they have debris that you just need to get out from underneath of the sidewalls on their toenails. The Splinter is going to have Splinter tweezer is going to have a really, really fine point. However, you need to ask your client to stay still because it does have an intense point and you don't want to poke them unnecessarily.
We don't want to get stabby during pedicure.
That's never a good idea.
Stabby is not good.
No matter how much you feel like, stop moving,
But it's nice.
It's just going to be a really nice fine point.
It's got like grippy in here.
Yeah.
So it'll grab anything. It's not like a like regular tweezers or like the super thin, like curved ones, like that look like lash tweezers. Those ones don't really grip anything because these are like serrated.
These would also be good if your kid got something stuck in their nose or their ear. Like, whoop, pull that right out. Multi-purpose. Or, some people use these to pull out blackheads. I mean, you could use it for that as well.
Some of us are horrible.
All the funny things we do as human beings. Okay. Do we have any questions on pedicure tools that we can help you with? Answer in any way?
I don't think there hasn't been any so far.
Excellent. I hope all of you are ready for pedicure season. Like we said, we love a waterless pedi, and we especially love the Vosh line for a waterless pedi. So you can check out Vosh, Voesh. If you made a purchase from us last week, which was our Nail Tech Appreciation Week, then you did get a little something from Vosh because we do love their product line. Also, with that, thank you to everybody who made an order last week in honor of our Nail Tech Appreciation Week. We appreciate each one of you, and we'll be back next week on Instagram, so we hope to see you there. And if you ever have any questions, as always, let us know. Thanks and have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.